I'm Bobby Gryziec, and welcome once again to Doctor Who episode suggestions. This time I'm focusing on the Tom Baker era. For many of us here in the United States, Tom Baker was our first introduction to Doctor Who. We recall him for his curly hair and scarf. He played the role of the Doctor for 7 years, so there is a plethora of episodes to suggest. I'm going to start out in Tom's first season with the Ark in Space. The Ark in Space sees our time travelers, the Doctor, Sarah Jane Smith, and Harry Sullivan, land on a space station in the distant future. There is humans being preserved in these suspended animation canisters on the space station. And there's some amazing visual effects to show size and scope using mirrors that is so believable. It's amazing. The space station is infiltrated by this insect race, and the episode is non-stop excitement. So definitely check out The Ark in Space. I would follow that by watching Genesis of the Daleks. Which it shows the evolution, the creation of the Daleks as a race. Being that they're a constant theme in Doctor Who, and a prominent enemy of the Doctor from pretty much day one. It is definitely an episode to see. It introduces you to the Daleks' creator as well, a mad scientist known as Davros. Davros could be seen as a Dr. Frankenstein, but also as a Adolf Hitler in many ways, as he embodies evil and conquering and the supremacy of his race. And it really mimics history quite profoundly in this episode, more so than ever before with the Daleks, because you get to see many of them before they become Daleks, so to speak. Don't want to give a lot away, even though I just did. But it really is a phenomenal episode. It is 6 parts long, but you don't realize it until you're at the end, and you're like, wow, where did all that time go? Because it was so good. From there, I'd recommend Revenge of the Cybermen. Revenge of the Cybermen takes us back to Space Station Nerva at a different point in time. And basically we see the return of the Cybermen, a revamped version of them. And you'll see this throughout Doctor Who. Many of the characters, alien races, undergo makeovers throughout the series. In this particular form of them, I believe they're in one of their best visual looks for the classic series of Doctor Who. And it is a rather exciting episode, hence the reason I suggest it. From there, I'd recommend one of my all-time favorite episodes as well, The Pyramids of Mars. Pyramids of Mars incorporates ancient Egyptian mythology with science fiction, and the blend is superb. The Doctor's companion in this episode is Sarah Jane Smith again, and the episode is phenomenal. Your enemy, your chief enemy at least, is Sutek, a ancient Egyptian god that is sort of held captive, and he's killed. He's actually, it's explained that he's captive by his brother Horus, and this whole plot line unfolds, and you basically find out that the Egyptian gods of old were actually an alien race from the far distant reaches of the galaxy, and it gets the mind thinking about religion as a whole, but it also is a fantastic episode. So check out the Pyramids of Mars. From there, I would recommend The Brain of Morbius. Another fantastic episode featuring Sarah Jane again as the Doctor's companion. The next episode I'd recommend, we see the Doctor for the first time without a companion at all. And it's called The Deadly Assassin. In The Deadly Assassin, we see the return of one of the Doctor's enemies, the Master. A very decrepit looking Master, as he is now old and decaying and at the end of his regeneration cycle. The Master in this episode is wicked. The Doctor is in for a run for his money in this one, and a majority of the episode takes place inside the Gallifreyan Matrix, which is sort of the world inside of this computer generated reality. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Yes, the Matrix existed prior to the Matrix existing, which is kind of neat. And it came from Doctor Who. What do you know? A great episode. Baker is in top form as he is on his own, pretty much. He's got no companion, and he is inside the Matrix for, I think, a good episode to an episode and a half, trying to get to the bottom of things as far as what's going on. And there's an assassination, and all of this rigmarole going on. It's a great episode. From there, I would suggest The Robots of Death. The Robots of Death features the character of Leela, a primitive sort of companion. She always carries a knife primarily, and she is quite fierce. quite attractive as well, as most of the Doctor's female companions were attractive. But Leela is exceptional in this episode. It sort of takes the ideas from Isaac Asimov's Rule of Robotics from iRobot and takes it to another level with the robots deciding to kill the humans that they're basically pledged to serve. It's really an amazing plot, amazing episode, really well done visually, definitely worth watching. After the Robots of Death, I would actually say to watch the Talons of Wing Chang. Which takes place in a sort of Jack the Ripper-ish London atmosphere, where people are disappearing, women are disappearing. From there, I would skip to the Invasion of Time. The Invasion of Time is the last episode to feature Leela as the Doctor's companion. It's a 6-part episode. It involves Gallifrey once again, and it shows a rather pompous, aristocratic society on Gallifrey, where they basically learn to trust, I think, too much, and in doing so almost brought about their own demise, had not been for the Doctor and Leela's involvement. The Invasion of Time is exciting from beginning to end. It shows the return of the Centaurans, a race that we see in the Jon Pertwee era, and we also have seen the Centaurans in the new series. The Invasion of Time, phenomenal episode, very exciting, and as I said, we see the departure of Leela, and we see an aspect of Gallifrey that we haven't seen before. People that live outside of the actual cities that are more primitive. Great episode. That ends my suggestions for Tom Baker Part 1.